That is scintillating. I don't know if it's the Parmesan, the flavour combinations. On MasterChef, they be talking about how they've infused both of those together. Welcome to another Gaz Right video, and welcome to the Concha y Toro vineyard tour, founded in 1833, and there's only one of the original family's descendants left alive. He's 99, so he's not doing too much of the work on the old vineyard, but we're going to be taking around the full tour, tasting some unbelievable Chilean wines. It's located in the Mayapo Valley, one of the 3 distinct regions of Chile. Apparently it's going to be bursting with flavour, aromas, and just very, very distinct notes within that, due to the extremely hot days and extremely cool evenings, which give the grapes a lot of time to mature and just give that absolute naughtiness when it hits the old lips. We've gone for the premium tour, the English speaking, so we can get a full feel for what is going on. There is Spanish speaking and Portuguese as well. It's going to set you back £35 for the premium tour. You taste 3 wines on the tour itself, walking around these beautiful little gardens, the main house, and all the kind of lakes and lawns. There's 22 acres here, and it's about a 40-minute journey from the centre of Santiago, depending on where you're staying. And yeah, we're just going to get in around amongst it, giving our reviews. Of course, we've got the king, aka the connoisseur, especially on the old dries. When we're in the old merlots, when we're in the old reds and the sweet wines, we might be a little bit out of our depth. But if you do have any questions, any comments, bang it down below. Whilst you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Still en route to 3k subs. Not dinging today, baby. Let's get cooking. Vino number 1 about to go into the old system. Cabernet Sauvignon. Nice little white number, sticking to what we know to start with. Then we're going to be in the absolute mixer with the old red wines very shortly. Learned a couple of things. Only stays in the barrel 6 to 9 months, and you need to drink it within 3 days of opening a bottle. Do you know what I mean? If you said it at 13 seconds, then we're in the ballpark of G-dubs. We're meant to be getting undertones of pineapple and pear mainly. Says it's very fruity number, very citrus number, are good for a hot day, obviously like today, about 20-22 degrees today, and then apparently there's undertones of vanilla and tobacco. So I'm not sure about those flavour combinations. Let's give it a little taste test for the girls this time. Smells banging too, huh? We've started strong. I'm not going to give a number, because sometimes, you know what I mean, you commit to a number and I've got to go back and be like, oh, it's whatever. But that, very light, very fresh. Even though it's like really fruity, it's super dry. You know what? I could get on board with that. So we started well. Up for the team, and I believe we're on a little red number very shortly, but I'm just going to spin you straight round and give you a little look at what we've got here. We've got all the vineyards, vineyards, we've got the mountains in the backdrop, silly setup, and then there's different sections here depending on what language you're in. Plenty of space. You actually get this little glass, what they've given us in front here, to take home with you, drink throughout the day. So yeah, we've got all the stash, and yeah, it's a lovely little setup. Great start to the tour, all the little water features and fountains. Ridiculous behaviour. So yeah, cheers to the boys. Stop 1, going well. Vino number 2, we're on a little bit the old UB40. Shout out to Robbo if he's watching. Left the king in charge of learning, getting the knowledge, whilst I recorded the old Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon, whichever way around, potato, tomato. We missed out on that. However, we did learn a few things. You want to spin the wine like this. The slower it comes down, the higher in alcohol, the better the legs on the wine. So it's an absolutely filthy bit of kit. It's going to be staying up there for quite some time. And also, you want to be holding it not around the actual glass itself, around the rim or around the base, because you don't want to be heating it up too much. I'd say if you drink it at a pretty good pace, that will not be the case. Red wine. That is sensational. For me, I thought I was going to be tasting it and be like, I don't know, sometimes it hits a bit hard. That is absolutely unbelievable. Not got too much to offer in terms of the notes and what flavours are in there. I'll overlay what the wine is now, because that is a delicious bit of kit. I would describe it as very smooth. A lot of the red wines I've had before, like very cloy. Well, that probably links back to the old price of them. So you know what? This is on the list as well. I will still put the white wine above it, but I'll tell you what, serious contender. We finally got our connoisseur, usually of the Sauvignon Blanc. However, we're on a little bit more of the old UB40 again. This is it's a Sauvignon. It's a Sauvignon Cabernet. We're not really sure what's going on. And meant to be undertones of blueberries and leather. Leather. Go on, let's give it a little taste test. Ooh, yeah, that is fruitier than the last one. I definitely prefer the last one to that.
It tastes a bit spicy, like
Spicy?
spices.
You reckon?
I get spices from that. Almost like reminds me of Christmas.
There you go, little Christmassy number. He did say when the higher the alcohol you go on the red, you want to go for the more fattier meats and fattier options. So the worse it is for you food-wise, usually the better the pairing with these.
I think he even said it would be good with chocolate between 70 and 80%.
I believe there's someone that we both know who could like this. Miss Olivia Triffitt, get on the reds, get on the UB40. For me, the second one, but I'll overlay the third one now so you know what the bottle is. But yeah, all play ball so far, which I'm surprised because usually not on the reds. Cheers now. Ella King roaming freely through the old vineyards. Couple things to know. I would say you have about 10 minutes to go check out like the main house, and then you get straight into the mixer on the old tasting. And they have these little posts here so you know what the grapes are. All different ones. Here we are, the main man himself. So in this field behind, you have 68 hectares of Cabernet Sauvignon, so that is where the absolute good stuff is made. They have different segments and sections all across Argentina and the US as well. I believe he said 10 or 12 vineyards across each of those, and if you want the best time of year to come here, you want to be coming in March time, because he said it's sort of end of Feb throughout March is when all their grapes are in full harvest. You can actually eat the grapes straight off the old vines themselves. But yeah, delving into a few of these, flying about the old place, you can get loads of time to get pictures and stuff. I would say if there's one little critique at the minute, it's not a problem for me, but I know a lot of people saw this online, I would say the wines come out at an absolutely ferocious pace. You do about 10-15 minute quick tour, see the house, get a bit of the history, which is great, a few pictures, and then you're straight in, 1 wine, 2 wine, 3 wine, and then you have time to explore the gardens and have a walkabout. So yeah, not a problem for G-Dubs. We're getting at them at an absolutely ridiculous pace, but just something to bear in mind if you want to take it a little bit slower, a little bit easier. But yeah, banger of a setup so far. The king is flying about in the distance, and yeah, we're going to be into the old proper tasting very, very shortly. Hopefully there's some cheese to pair these little bad boys. The final frontier, the final part of the basic tour, if you're not on the premium one, is a tour of the cellar, which was built in 1851. It's held together by egg whites, which is absolute carnage. In the cellar, the Don Melchior is their most expensive bottle, and in 2002 it got 100 out of 100 score, so that is absolutely outrageous behaviour. Unfortunately, we won't be sampling any of those today, but back then it was going for $3,000 a bottle. That's pretty bloody good wine, if you ask me. And then in the cellar, there's a nice little interactive display and background and history of when like some of the wine got stolen, and obviously where the Diablo and all that kind of comes from. That's probably one that you will know if you search this vineyard and search Diablo. That's a wine you see all the time in the UK. In the cellar, so interactive stuff's going on. They just lock you in there. I think it's pretty cool. Some people might see that as a little bit gimmicky if you're a bit of a wine connoisseur and you're here just for the wine, but if you want a bit of experience, a little bit of entertainment, that was pretty bloody good. And there's $66 million worth of wine in the cellar, and they've locked us absolute fresh pups in there, which is absolute carnage. So yeah, lots of insight, lots of knowledge. Would highly recommend so far. And yeah, we'll see how the wines go. If there's any other good ones, we'll be back to check in. If you have any questions so far, bang it in the comments. I sponsor every single one. Cheers now. Main tour done, boxed off. I've waited. They've talked through all the different wines. The sommelier has been giving us the insight, the knowledge to share, bestow with you guys. It's gone straight over the head, but there's going to be a few little nuggets of wisdom. Em has already drank all of her wines, tasted all the cheese, and from the signs that have been coming from next to me, I'm pretty sure it's been a good review so far. Would have liked to have seen a couple more whites, but we're going to start with the Chardonnay. It's a fan favourite from the king. See what this one's saying. Usually light, a little bit more crisp. Yeah, for me, the Chardonnay, nice and fruity, nice and soft, and meant to be paired. And what was the first cheese?
Oh, I'm not actually 100% sure. I don't know, and I'm normally really good with cheeses.
You know what? They've given us a little menu of the cheeses, but It is in Spanish. We'll give it a little translate. I would say it tastes like a Dairy Dunker, so that's a bit outrageous. Oh, that's the goat's cheese.
Is that the goat cheese?
I thought the middle one was the goat's cheese. Well, there you go. That's absolutely banging. Lovely bit of kit. Second up is the Pinot Noir. Not too strong. I'm going to be undertones of like blueberry and some fruity numbers in there. Ooh, smells well nice.
I think that was my favourite one.
Really nice. Again, not too strong, that one. Nice and soft. Again, you can kind of see the colours in there. Good bit of kit. Would recommend. What I'm going to pair this one with, this is the cheese you didn't like. What was it? Should have left them up. Oh, this one that says fatty cheese. I've absolutely no idea. I actually quite like that. I wouldn't say it has any like really, really strong flavours or anything. My favourite cheese, can you remember it?
Cranberry blue, cranberry. What's with all the berries?
Yeah, she's got it. Cranberry Wednesday as my go-to. Third up is the Malbec. I'll overlay so you know which ones we're dealing with. What are the tannins saying? What are the legs saying? A little bit more powerful bit of kit. I think it's like 13.5, 14%. Smells a lot stronger in fairness. Ooh. For me, the stronger you go on these, it just reminds me, like Em said before, like Christmas. They're a lot heavier, a lot more like flavour in them. I don't know how many you could drink. I feel as if I enjoy a small amount. If I was going out and drinking like a bottle of that, I think that'd be pretty potent. What we're dealing with here is this good one.
So good.
Rate out of 10.
9.5.
The fan favourite. It's the Brie. The Brie?
Yeah, no,
It's the Brie. Unbelievable bit of kit. For me, I always love the Brie, and there's one other person, she's actually going to be watching this, my granny, shout out Nina, watching all the videos, legend of the scene. And then we've got the fourth and final one, the Carmane from just down from Santiago, a little bit closer to the coast. I remember they were saying this one's about 20 minutes away from the sea. So we'll see what it's saying. A little tip, a little bit of knowledge. I just remembered something now. The higher the altitude is usually when they get the Merlots, the Malbecs and the Reds. And then the lower the altitude is where they get the Whites and the Chardonnays. So yeah, for me, stick by the sea. Maybe that is why seafood goes well with white wine, because the white wine's from closer to the sea. That could be true. That could be absolute bollocks. But we'll see. The fourth and final one, Carmier. Oh, smells delicious.
But make sure you have it with this cheese. Pair it with this one. The Parmigiano.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is scintillating. I don't know if it's the Parmesan, the flavour combinations. On MasterChef, they be talking about how they've infused both of those together. I'm going to rate these really quickly. The Carmier, I'm going to put as number 1. I'm going to put the Chardonnay as number 2, Pinot Noir as number 3, and unfortunately the Merlot is coming in at number 4. But yeah, good bit of kit, would recommend. And we're going to do a little outro outside later. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do the outro right now. Unbelievable value, £35, flying about. You get a nice tour of the gardens, 3 wines as you go. If you want something a little bit more mid-price, obviously this was £35, where you get the 4 wines, the cheese, and a little bit more insight and knowledge on the wines themselves. And then if you want to go for the super premium option, you can do, and that's another 2 wines. But we thought it might be just purely dessert wines. So we've gone for the kind of semi-premium option. Would highly recommend. Good value for money, great knowledge, good wines.
Very good. Could have done with a rosé, but still very good.
Couple more whites and a little rosé would be top draw. We're going to be back very, very shortly for some more chili action, then moving into Bolivia. So if you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one, baby, because remember, the chef
Is always cooking.
today we're drinking, baby.